Being poor forever scares a lot of people, and why wouldn't it? It means you'd never be able to buy the things or experience the things you really want, nor would you be able to afford the kind of life you've always envisioned. You might not even be able to afford some necessities. So we work extra hours, invest in stocks, and do everything within our power to avoid being poor. However, there are a number of habits that could stop you from building wealth, habits that we might have dismissed as harmless. In this video, we'll take a look at 15 habits that can keep you poor forever and also show you how we can break free from them. You ready? All right, let's get started. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 1. Impulsive buying. If you discover that you're always out of money, it could be because you're always buying something whether you need it or not. Most impulse buyers always buy things they don't plan to and justify this purchase by saying it's something they really need. Some people might even say this purchase is a reward for all the good work they've put in. Now look, we're not looking to judge that behavior because everyone deserves to get themselves a treat every once in a while. It becomes a problem, however, when you make a habit out of it. Spur-of-the-moment purchases usually end up being poor financial decisions, especially if you take out a credit loan to do it. Impulse buying also shows that you don't care too much about your financial situation, and that's a sure way to remaining poor. Number 2. Paying yourself first. If you're the sort of person who chooses their pleasure over everything else, you're unconsciously nurturing a habit that could keep you poor. Your pleasures are important, definitely, but thinking of your future self and family will put your finances into perspective. This becomes even more important when you've got a family and children. You now have the responsibility to always make financial choices which will benefit every single one of you, not just yourself. Number 3. Postponing important decisions to the very last second. If you're a serial procrastinator, there's a good chance you push off the important decisions until the last minute. Unfortunately, though, some individuals take this even a step further by not even making the decisions when they really matter. Financial decisions are timely, and putting them off until they no longer matter will not only affect your present financial condition, but also your future one. Have you ever considered the fact your future self is depending on you making the right decisions now? Because this will determine the type of life you're going to lead in a few years. However, when you postpone important decisions, such as saving, creating an emergency fund account, or even getting a new job, you're unconsciously setting yourself up to stay poor. Instead, make important decisions no matter how difficult they might feel. Your future self will be so glad you did. Number 4. Chasing the shiniest things. It can be tempting to always own the shiniest things. Come on, who wants to be seen with the outdated version of that popular brand? We all want the things that would create a grand impression in the mind of others. But when you really think about it, should the opinions of other people really affect your spending habits? Why do we have to spend so much money on expensive items just to impress others we don't even know or really care about? When you start to chase the shiny things, it can become quite easy to get lost in the glamour and glitz of that world. And you'll find yourself always wanting more, which in turn results in you spending all of your money and savings. Number 5. Not having a budget. Here's why budgets are great. They help you to plan your money, and this prevents you from buying unimportant things. Every item on your budget is usually something you've thought about for a while. Perhaps an electronic gadget that you urgently need, a trip you've got planned, or even a payment for a loan. This budget will provide direction. It also gives you an in-depth understanding of your finances. And while most people find it pretty easy to create a budget, the difficult part is sticking to it. If you've got a budget that clearly outlines how you should spend your money, it's important that you follow it closely. If you don't, well, it's kind of like you never had a budget in the first place. Number 6. Ignoring your debt. Look, we hate to do this, But here's the truth. Ignoring your debt is not going to make it go away. In fact, ignoring your debt is one guaranteed way to make it bigger and become poorer. How, you ask? Well, ignoring your debts will result in heavy interest rates, which in turn will cause you to pay more than usual. When you pay more than usual, it slowly becomes difficult to pay for other things, so it makes it incredibly hard to save anything. If you don't manage to escape this vicious cycle of debts and interest rates, you would have to work twice as hard just to escape the poverty line. Number 7. Always upgrading your electronic devices. Whether you like it or not, there's always going to be an upgraded version of your electronic device. Think you've got the coolest microwave oven? There's definitely going to be an upgrade better than that. Do you use the best and most smartest smartphone? Well, there's definitely going to be an improved and smarter one in just a few months. When you constantly upgrade your electronic devices, you get caught up in this never-ending cycle of purchases. You'd end up spending thousands of dollars for an upgrade that you really don't need. Now, while this might seem harmless at first, it could prevent you from saving or from funding your emergency fund account. In fact, it could cause you to default on your loans, a decision with way worse repercussions. Number 8. Expecting a miracle. We all hope for miracles, right? It's a common trait to pray and hope that something divine will suddenly change your fortune. And to be honest, there's really no harm in it. However, if a miracle is all you're working for, you might be putting your entire financial future at risk. Not even might, you probably are. Perhaps you believe that you'll someday win the lottery or discover that your grandparents left you an immense fortune, or even suddenly get the best job in the world. But expecting a miracle puts you out of control. It makes you think that someone or something is going to swoop in and save you from financial crisis. But unfortunately, no one will, and your crisis will only deepen if you fail to take action. So instead of waiting around for a miracle, why not start paying more attention to your bills, create a budget, and repay your loans when they're due? Interesting thing, you can still hope for a miracle while doing all of these things. Number 9. Lifestyle inflation. It's quite natural for your standard of living to improve after getting a job that pays you better. Now you can afford the things you've always wanted while living in a city you love. However, one mistake that could make you poor is succumbing to lifestyle inflation. Now, this situation would cause you to improve your lifestyle to the point where you start spending beyond your means. Now, there's really nothing wrong with improving your lifestyle when you earn more money. You must, however, make sure that your spending is still within your means and within your budget. When you realize you're spending way more than you earn, it's probably time to take a step back and reevaluate your financial choices. Ignoring this evaluation will mess up your finances so bad, you could end up losing everything you've built. Number 10. Gambling. Gambling is a terrible financial habit, and it will only make you poorer if you fail to stop. Most gamblers are out to discover a get-rich-quick scheme, but aren't we all too familiar with how that ends? Not only do they end up losing money, it then throws them into a pool of endless debt. But it gets even worse. A number of studies have shown that gamblers who quit find it really difficult to get their finances back under control, suggesting that gambling can still affect your finances long after you quit. Number 11. Drugs or alcohol addiction. Drugs and alcohol impacts your health negatively, and it also tears a hole into your finances. Let's imagine for a moment that a certain Nina earns $1,000 each month. She pays her bills and loans, buys groceries, and then spends over $300 on drugs and alcohol because she feels like she needs them to survive. Of course, Nina wouldn't immediately feel the financial effect of this decision. But in the long run, if 30% of her income every month consistently goes to drugs and alcohol, it's only a matter of time before she decides to spend more. And when she does, her entire financial situation is bound to come crashing down. Addiction to drugs and alcohol has a huge tendency to make you poorer. So if you find yourself regularly consuming these types of substances, it might be time to cut down and take a step back. Number 12, bad saving culture. When you're young, you probably think it's too early to start saving. I'll save when I'm a little bit older, you say. As a young person, you want to be able to enjoy all the pleasures money can buy, and saving can come at the right time. But that's where the problem lies. There really is no right time to start saving except right now. In fact, we at Alux think it's never too early to start saving. Individuals who don't save are more likely to take high-interest loans, and these loans, if not regularly paid, will result in higher interest rates. If you then decide to take another loan to repay the first one, it's probable you will keep taking on more loans in the future, putting you in an endless cycle of debt. Number 13, you work at a job you hate. We're pretty sure you're wondering, how would working a job I hate make me poor? I hate it, but of course I'm still getting paid. Well, at this point, it's not really about whether you get paid or not, but the state of mind this job puts you in. Constantly working a job you hate will give you a gloomy outlook on life. Come on, if anyone's got to do something they hate all day long, it's probably going to make them hate the world too. This job will cause you to lose motivation in other things, including passion for the thing you do enjoy doing. You'll have no interest in a new position, nor would you strive to become better at your job. Unfortunately, this could result in lost opportunities, financial stagnancy, and eventually even poverty. Number 14, not knowing your needs and wants. In order to build wealth, you have to know the difference between your needs, your wants, and the things you do not need. Knowing this would make you spend without direction, and all your money would be gone before you even know it. If you're interested in not remaining poor, then you have to outline your needs and prioritize them at all times. And a step further and above that, if you want to learn how to build wealth, we've put together the ultimate course. It's called The Principles of Building Wealth, and it's a learning pack available on the Alux app. We release a learning pack every month, and paid subscribers get access to all of our learning packs included in their subscription. Being a paid subscriber gets you a big discount on your learning packs. If you want to do more than just get rich, if you want to build wealth, go to Alux.com/app or search Alux in the App Store or Google Play Store today. Number 15, focusing on the present. Usually, when we can't solve a problem, we tend to ignore it. Some will hope they'll be better equipped to solve the problem in the future, while some hope that the problem will somehow take care of itself in the future. So instead of getting all worked up about it, they decide to focus only on the present and pay no attention to the future at all. And look, we really hate to be the party pooper here, but hey, if you choose to ignore the future when making financial decisions, you might just be headed toward a financial disaster. And there you have it, Aluxer, 15 habits that are bound to keep you poor. Did any of these habits sound a little too close to home? Well, it could mean you've got to make important changes in your life, my friend. Determining to become wealthy takes a whole lot of work, but getting started early puts you in a great position. Did you watch the video up until this point? Of course you did, and there's an extra habit as a bonus from us. Number 16, retail therapy. Some people will play and listen to music to deal with stress, some others put on a movie. However, an interesting group finds therapy in shopping or spending money. Hey, what could be the harm in that? They really just want to feel better. Well, of course, no one should really judge with how we cope with stress, unless it involves a certain degree of frivolous spending. Retail therapy can easily become addictive, turning you into an emotional spender. And when this happens, spending your entire savings on a number of luxurious bags will sound like a great idea. But as you already guessed, an emotional spender who refuses to get help will someday become poor. In cases like these, it's time to hang up the retail therapy and go to therapy. You need to figure out what's missing in your life, what void you're trying to fill. Then you'll be on the right track. Thanks for spending some time with us today, Aluxer. We're so glad you did. If you found value in today's video, please give us a like, hit the bell icon to never miss an upload, and don't forget to subscribe.